Today I'm going to teach you the 5 key elements of how to create the perfect window treatments in your home. We're going to go from stem to stern. Are you ready? When we're done with this video, by the way, get a piece of paper and a pencil. Write these things down because this video will be a game changer. Try to be patient and pray for me. And here are your 5 key elements. Number 1, panels. Yes, the window treatments themselves. Number 2, poles. Those are actually rods, but we're going to call them poles because it starts with a P. Number 3, the placement or position of your window treatments. Number 4, privacy, in case maybe you need some. And number 5, preserve. What does that mean? Well, if you've made mistakes on your window treatments and you look around, you can stop the video right now. Please do come back. But take a look at the window treatments in your home. I bet you're going to want to change some things when we're done. And I'm not suggesting you throw everything away. I'm going to teach you how to preserve what you already have. Let's talk about panels. We're going to talk about the fabric that you choose for your window treatments and what they look like. Now, back in the day, it used to be a much more complicated thing. Can I just tell you, I have made some incredible window treatments over the years where you have all different kinds of fabrics that are involved and a valance over the top and all kinds of stuff. And sometimes they're actually working drapery that open and close. What we're going to talk about today is stationary panels, and the privacy issue is completely separate. We're only talking about stationary. Why is it just stationary? First off, if it's stationary, you can make it look perfect and it'll stay there because you're not opening and closing it. Nowadays, you don't have to have your drapery custom made. Let me show you the window treatments in my living room. Now, these panels are custom. The fabric is custom. The fabric was $250 a yard, and it's scads of yards of fabric. Those window treatments cost me thousands of dollars just for 2 windows. Now let's take a look at the window treatments in my family room. Those are actually from Amazon. Everything that you're going to see today, whether it be the window treatment panels or the rods that I bought to show you, they're all from Amazon, and we'll have links in the description box below. This is the fabric that I use on the window treatments in my family room. Now, remember I showed you the ones in my living room. Thousands. They're probably, I don't even know how much they were, probably like $5 grand. The ones in my family room, I think I did the entire family room, 4 windows, for $500. That's just a little over $100 per window from Amazon. All right, this is what I use. These are actually the fabrics. Now, what's cool about this is it gives you the linen look. You can see light coming through them, but they're not sheer. Let me tell you, when you get them, they come in a package and you get 2 panels per package. What does a package cost? I don't know, $40, $45? 2 for $45, that's phenomenal. Now take a look at this. When you take it out of the package, it looks like this. I see a lot of wrinkles, don't you? Yeah, so here is a very important thing. If you want your window treatments to look really quality, you look at yours and you think, why don't they look so great? And you look at mine and you go, they're so amazing. It's because I iron them. Yes, I take each panel and I put it on my ironing board and I steam them, not just a steamer, but actually iron with steam, and they come out looking beautiful. And plus, once they hang for a while, any other wrinkles will come out. This is what I would use if you had light colored anything. You know, you got like all the stuff in my house. Most of them are this light, either white or off-white, okay? So this is a really good weight, and it doesn't wrinkle so bad because it's polyester. That's the cool thing. This is a polyester linen. Real linen does not hang nicely. It doesn't fold into its pleats nicely. It's too crisp. So that's why I love these. This is a light filtering, but much more. It's almost what I would call a sheer, but here, I'm gonna give you the best tip right now. You want the best tip right now? Do not select sheer fabric for your window treatments. I know, I would say probably 45% of you watching today have sheer panels for your window treatments. When you use sheer, it doesn't give you the body that you need. It looks wimpy. And most of you place them incorrectly, so you just completely see through them. They just go away. They don't make any kind of statement or impact. I'm going to show you how they make a statement and impact in my home and the different places I've used them. But this is kind of like almost a wheat color. It has a little bit of wheat is the color I think of. It's like an off-white, creamy, soft. And I actually use something like this in my guest room that has more of a light filtering effect. You see the light coming through from the back, the room behind me? I hope so. So that is how that looks and the way it hangs. It's actually really pretty. And again, these have been ironed. So iron your window treatments before you put them up. You see the difference between this? These lines right here in the middle, a steamer is not going to get those lines out. Another fabric that I think makes an incredible window treatment is velvet. I know, it sounds like fancy, right? But why I like it is because when it is gathered into place and put on the rings or however you attach them, it has such a luxurious way that it hangs and falls. Isn't that beautiful? I mean, that's really romantic. And honestly, it's what you see behind me in my own bedroom. This year, I added window treatment panels on either side of my bed, and I chose to use black velvet. Whenever you're ironing velvet, you need to iron it from the back, okay? So if you want that luxurious, like silky, velvet look, definitely iron your panels on the back side. And here's another tip. Always cut off the tags, always, okay? Because these can show behind and you don't want to do anything half, wetted. I would call this mushroom. Look how yummy this is. Look at that. It's like a warm gray brown. I think mushroom's a good name for it. Okay, try to be patient and pray for me. Isn't that pretty? The problem is, see, this is a tab back. So stay tuned because we're gonna cover this kind of issue in a minute when we get to poles. But here's the difference. This is fully lined. So this has taken us now into more of a custom drapery look. Of course, they're the most expensive ones, but hey, even at $69 or whatever they are, they're still a really good deal. This kind of stuff is not easy to come by. Now here you can see all of the treatments that I selected just for purpose of you seeing what I'm talking about. I know that one of the questions I often get is, which color is good for my room? I think that is it's a personal decision, whatever your taste is, and it also goes with your style. If you want a contrast, for example, in my bedroom, I have black velvet against an off-white, like a Chantilly lace paint. So it's very creamy off-white color paint. And I wanted that bold contrast. But a lot of times, especially if a room is smaller or if you're just looking for that really open concept living, beachy, airy, then something like the white or this like neutral wheat color is good. If you're looking for sand, this also would look good with the beach look. But here's the thing. Here's what you need to know. When you're selecting your window treatments, the weight of the fabric is the most important thing. Of course, the color. Now you'll see here, I've picked all solids. Why is that? Let me just give you a caution about printed window treatments. Here's what happens. You may pick out, and in fact, I'm going to show you a shower curtain that I did in a little girl's bathroom years ago. I fell in love with this fabric. It was peacock feathers, and it was like over $100 a yard, like 15 years ago. So we only got like, I don't know, 2.5 yards of it just to make this shower curtain and have this like peacock feel. But the moment that you gather your fabric up to make your window treatments, you have no guarantee where that print is going to fall. So if you have something, you love the print, then I say do a soft Roman shade or a flat lambrequin, something flat, but don't do something that gathers. When you're doing stripes, you also don't have any guarantee where those stripes are gonna fall. You're thinking, well, they're all going like this. Oh, this will be really great. Wait till you see it on the wall. It looks like nothing. I mean, it's very disappointing. In one of my projects, I took vertically striped fabric and I played around with it because I knew that I wanted it to look consistent. I didn't want this, okay, at some point it's all just the solid part and then all of a sudden a stripe shows up and then, you know what I'm talking about? Your pleats are just random. Same way with your prints, but even in a vertical stripe, it cannot look like you thought it was going to look. Here's where I like to use stripes, horizontally. I'll show you some pictures of projects I've done where we've done fabric that is horizontally striped and we've added that as window treatments and that looks great. For the most part, I say go solid. Do you always have to do something so neutral? No, you don't. Like I said, in my bedroom, I have black velvet. It just depends on what it is that you want to draw out. However, I will caution you, if you're trying to do something that you're going to love for a very long time, the neutral shades are more a safer bet. Now I'm also going to show you what these curtains, what these window treatments look like when light comes from behind it, because when it's lit from behind, you're going to get to see how much light filtering there is. So let's say we've selected the right weight of material, whether it's velvet or cotton or linen, and then we get the right color. What next? A very important thing for you to lock in is the header design. You know what that means? In window treatment speak, it means how the window treatments or the curtains attach to the rod. There are so many ways to do it. There's a butterfly pleat. There's a pinch pleat. There's an inverted pleat for a more modern look. There's grommets. Here's the one I think most people I see do this. And I'm going to tell you right now, it is the biggest mistake in window treatments I see. The header design at the top is called a pocket rod. It is a pocket sewn into the top. Now, this particular treatment comes with some different options. It has a little loop system here that you can put your rod through like that. And a lot of people do that. I personally think that it can look nice to give you sort of a simple pleat here, but it's not consistent and it doesn't hold its situation. And the reason is, look, it ends up being flat back here and looped in the front, and that does not hold its shape. All right, I'm gonna show you which one does. I have a favorite, and some people think it's cheap. I don't think it's cheap, I think it's great. And it's the only one that is consistent and I can count on. But here's what I talk about when I say the pocket rod. Do you see that? There is a little piece that's folded over and it's sewn on, and that gives you the ability to gather it on the rod. Do you want me to get a rod and show you? I'll be right back. If you choose a treatment that has the little, kind of these little tabs already involved in it in the back, it creates a very simple, tight pleat, right? But look at the back. There is nothing that goes behind it. It's all flat against this, and you'll never see the rod except for maybe here on the end. We'll talk about rods in a minute. So that's one option. But the option I really want to show you now is the one that I think most of you choose to use because I see it over and over and over again. This is the pocket rod. And what this is you slide and you gather your curtains on a rod. Now watch this. Let's say you decide you want your finished width up here to be 14 inches. Let's say that's 14 inches, okay? You get it all gathered on there and then you walk away. And what happens? It starts to grow. And now you have, take a look at your window treatments and see if they're doing that. You can't get it to stay in place. That's why I don't like it, because I want my window treatments to do, look, on both sides, it just gets sort of like, wah, wah, and then wah, wah. It's not what we're going for, guys. All right, you ready to see what Becky chooses for her window treatments. I choose grommets. Yep, I love them, and I'm gonna show you why, and I'm gonna tell you why, and by the time we're done with this video, you're gonna wanna get grommeted window treatments. Look at this. You start with the pocket turning back toward the wall. This is the front, right? And this is the wall. So you're gonna put it here, and then you just gather in and out, and in and out, and in and out. On both ends, this is the return. That's what professional drapery workrooms do. They create a return, which means when it's hanging on the wall here, you can't see back behind here. You don't see the brackets. You don't see where it's attached. It has a finished return. That is professional design speak right there, okay? I just taught you how to speak like a designer. The other thing they do is they not only go this way, but they go that way. That's how you get that full-on gorgeous hanged drapery. All right, I'm gonna stand up here again. Take a look there. Do you see that? Now, you can dress them to look perfect, and you'd probably wanna like iron this so that that hangs nicer. But look, you can get that nice, clean pleat look, and it goes back. So I want to talk to you about a mistake I see people making. They go on Amazon and they order a packet of window treatments, and comes with 2 in a package. And they think, okay, I need one for the right of the window, one for the left, and then right and the left, so they get 2 packets. And it's really wimpy. If you want your finished width, let's say you want your finished width to be, and finished width is what we talk about in the industry all the time. So that's more designer speak. Right there. There's what it looks like if you use 1 panel. Doesn't that look wimpy? And it doesn't have that beautiful, perfect pleat. I look at each one of these panels as being a finished width of 7 inches. It's not that the width of the panel is 54 inches, is what does it fold up into being? This is 7 inches. In my family room, I want 14 inches finished width. You might have thought in the past, 14 inches, that sounds so narrow. It sounds so skinny. Well, I'll take you downstairs and show you what it looks like. I don't think it's skinny at all. The top would be this big, but they get a little bit wider as they go down. So you want to get the right ones, but just think in terms of 7 inches per panel. That's how many panels you need for how much width you want to cover. Do you feel confident in how to select the right panels to use and the right headers to select? Okay, there are other header options. I just haven't seen any that you can do yourself that look great. I'll show you what I'm talking about because I ordered some. I'll go get them. Step number 2, determine your poles, meaning rods, actually rods, rings, and brackets. Super, super important. This is something I want you to pay close attention to. So I bought a bunch of different kinds for you to see here, all from Amazon. The brackets that they are attached with, and with or without finials. Of course you want to have a finial, but what kind of finial should you have? What color should you select, and what size? I'm going to start off first with the size I think you shouldn't get. This is what I often see. This is a very, very skinny, scrawny, no big deal. Oh, look, and as it telescopes, it gets even skinnier. This is not good. And then even look at the bracket that's supposed to hang it on the wall. Seriously? This is like, wah, wah. If you have a curtain rod that looks like this, you're not alone. A lot of people do. And if you have brackets that look like this, you're still not alone. A lot of people do. This I would avoid, and this finial I would avoid. It's just, even the color, the finish is awful. This would be a no, all right? From here, I say let's go with a little beefier rod. Now, I like rods that are 1 inch in diameter. You can go up to 1.5. Now back in the day, we actually used to use 2-inch rods. That was in the Tuscan era. Our rods were everything. And oh my gosh, our finials, if you could see the finials I have put on windows over the years, yeah, they're art, really. Yeah. Anyway, we don't do that anymore because it's totally out. But we've gotten rid of this rod, right? We don't like that. And here's what I want you to see too. Look at the difference. Can you see the difference in the color? When you're talking about brass or brushed brass, there are so many different shades of brass. The first thing you need to do is you need to determine the finish that you want to use. Do you want to use brass, brush brass, antique brass? I mean, this is antique brass. I actually think that's pretty. Compared to that, this is antique brass. That's a brass I could live with. This is satin brass, and it's just brassy. It's really gold. All right, so you get the finish down. Do you want brass? Do you want white? Some people have white in the right style room. That looks great. A lot of people today are using black. I actually really like black myself. Now, when I did my window treatments in my bedroom, I sat there and I weighed out. Do I want black, because my window treatments are black, or do I want brass? I ultimately decided to go with brass, and I'll tell you why. I wanted to do a rod all the way across the windows. And by doing that, I was going to create a line. Do I want a black line that goes across the top of my wall that defines where my ceiling height is? Or do I want something a little more subtle? And since I have brass elements, like for example in my lamp there, I could easily bring that in different places in my room. So I went not with the black, I did the black on the panels, but I did the brass on the rods. So once you get your color and your finish done, and when we say finish, we mean color, okay? You could also do silver. You could also do wood. You could do bamboo. Oh my gosh, I used to even do acrylic. I mean, come on, I've done everything. Actually, I did do a log home once, and in the kitchen, I made my own rods out of twigs. Once you've got your finish selected, then you select the thickness of your rod. This one, I believe, is 1 inch. Could be 1.25 inches, but I would not go anything bigger than 1.25 inches, maybe 1.5 inches. 1 inch seems to be like the right size, and a lot of things. Yeah, see, this is 1 inch right here, and this right here is either 1.5 inches or 1.25 inches. Do you see that? The thickness is really going to matter when you come up with your tab top or your header treatment. So here is a 1-inch rod, and you can see how that fits on this grommet. That's the other reason I like grommets, is they tend to fit on most rod sizes. You see the amount of space there? But let's say we put it on, this is going to be 1.5 inches, and still it fits. And I think that it still looks good. See how easy that is? Good Lord. I mean, your husband could even do it. Just kidding. Look at that. Easy peasy. Get your 7 inches in your panel width and put another one on and you are done. Except be sure to cut off the tags. Guys, please, cut off the tags. Now let's say you don't want to do a rod that goes all the way across your window. You want to do a limited rod that is only going to be on one side. Now, when do you do this? If like over here, I did the rod to go across because I felt like it created this really clean, finished line across there. But imagine if I had chosen instead to do these individual rods. Now, what's cool about this, even though I hate this is where, when you just want to have a rod, okay, here's what you do. This has got to go on this side, okay? So look at this. If you have your rod here, or your bracket here, your window treatment can't go past it. If I take this bracket and I put it here, I get one pleat over and it has a return. And then I screw this back on here. Then, look at that. I can take that all the way to the end. This bracket is in between this first pleat, okay? I would actually pull this down a little bit. And then I do another one down here, let's say if this was 2, and I'd put the bracket right here so that it was in between the panels and you'd never see the bracket. Let's say you didn't listen to when I said get grommeted window treatments. You decided you're gonna do this. We used to do this all the time. If you're gonna do this, you gotta measure them so that they are evenly spaced, because people don't measure them and then their window treatments look like a hot mess. But I'm gonna show you what this looks like. I'm not measuring it, by the way. So take my advice and do as I say, not as I do. And then here, run this through here. This is a pain. The grommets are way faster, don't you think? Yeah, another good reason. Okay, so here we go. Now you have what looks like you tried, but your window treatments still have very little structure to them. Does it look pretty from there? Say no. Cameraman, say no, it looks terrible. Now a lot of you, if you're older, you know what this is. If you're younger, you may not. This is a double rod. This is for when you do want to have panels here, stationary panels, and shears back here. So they stick further away from your wall like this, and you can have a shear behind. Now, I mean, we haven't seen that look in a long time. Maybe you want to have shears. Maybe you still do have shears. If you do, a double rod is the way to go to get that kind of seamless look, and it just sticks out from the wall further. But I'm going to show you my trick when it comes to brackets. So this particular rod right here, and it'll be in the description box from Amazon. This one I really liked. This is a 48-inch rod. Now, this one, I wanted 48 inches. What did it come in? 2 poles. So I have to be an engineer to figure out how to put it together. And can I just tell you, when that rod came in, it looked so nice on the internet. When it came in like 8 different pieces. I'm like, are you kidding me? 8 different pieces? This rod, I do like this one. I like the cap on it, but I like this bracket. If you can get a telescopic thing here, meaning this could be pushed in and it could have a, 3-inch return. It's 3 inches away from the wall where it hangs. If you're doing like something that doesn't have it, but if you're doing a grommeted one, you want that to hang out further, because remember, it goes this way and it goes that way and it goes this way and it goes that way. So you want it to hang away from the wall enough. This has the ability to go in and out, and it's very sturdy. So this one kind of wins my choice for best window treatment bracket and rod, or pole as we call it. I'm going to show you the details in my primary bedroom on my window treatments. Come on. I think my bedroom really illustrates why I love window treatments so much and how it can make such a difference in a home. Let's take a look at the picture of what this room looked like when I bought this house. It's a pretty small bedroom, but it's nice. It kind of feels like you're up in a crow's nest. Has these great plantation shutters, and when I bought the house, they were across these windows as well. I ended up taking those off, and I just used paper shades for a long time until I was ready to do something. With my headboard being against the windows, it covers up a vast majority of the space. But I decided just this year that I wanted to add window treatments to this primary bedroom. It just adds that element of class and sophistication to a room that I believe this wall was missing before. So I'm really glad that I chose the black velvet in here, and I love it against the black lamps, because now for the first time the brass really gets prominent position. It shows up and it just lightly lights up and creates a halo on the black velvet. I think this window is also really a good way to teach you how window treatments can actually mask architectural issues. All right, so in this room, on the right-hand side of the headboard, there is a shorter, smaller patch of drywall than there is on the left. Well, that's a bummer, right? You know how I am about symmetry. I could still create symmetry though by doing the window treatments right. But what it meant, and this is what you're going to have to remember, when you decide on your finished widths and lengths, we're going to talk about that in this element here, it's really important to know that you want to make them the exact same size, left and right. So how did I do that? I had way more room over here. Do I just put a wider panel over here and a narrower panel over there? Can you imagine what that would have looked like? No, instead, I decided to take that little tiny space that was available on the right-hand side and then eat up one of the panes. Look at this. There are 3 actual panes of window here, and I brought my window treatments over to nearly cover one of those panes, giving me a little bit less window showing than I normally would. Now you guys know, you'll see down in my family room that I put window treatments on the walls, not on the windows, unless I'm trying to mask an architectural flaw, meaning the windows are not placed in the center of the room. So by doing that, I went over to the side over here, I measured how much room I had from the wall to the casement and then into one pane of the window, and that would be my finished width. I did the same thing here to the right, and then I have a little bit of drywall left over here, and I don't even think you notice it unless I point it out. But look at the symmetry that it created. Do you know that there are 8 separate pieces of pipe that are twisted and put together? I was so annoyed. I was like, it didn't look like that on the website. I guess I should have read more of the details. Read the details. But yeah, it's 8 things put together. And you know what that meant? Once I put my window treatments up, the rod in the center right here bowed so badly, I could not get it to straighten out. Well, why is that? Well, because this is a lot of weight. There's a lot of weight up here that's creating that, and it just made it go down in the center. So what do the average person do? Not Robeson design followers, but average people, they would have put a bracket right here, and you would forever see that bracket. In the past, sometimes I painted the bracket out white, but I came up with a solution this time that I think is, I have to say, I think it's kind of brilliant. And so I'm going to show you what I discovered and what I decided to do. Right here, you know what that is? That's a bracket. So what I did was I installed the bracket over here and the bracket over here exactly 22 inches apart. Was it make sure that these curtains cannot go any wider than 22 inches. It ensures that they stay in this perfect formation the whole time. And you can see these are grommeted, so they go all the way back, all the way out, all the way back, all the way out, all the way back. They are consistent. But you also see that, and only when I point it out to you, it's actually 2 separate panels. To further illustrate key element number 3, which is position and placement, let me give you the lowdown, okay? Number 1, you want to take your window treatments to the ceiling or as high as you can go, as long as your ceiling is no taller than 10 feet. If it's above 10 feet, we need to talk. The second thing is you want to bring them all the way to the floor where they're just kissing the ground. Number 3, you want to make sure that your window treatments are on the walls, not on the windows. They're actually not window treatments, in my opinion. They are wall treatments. And some of you have been members of the design sessions, you know what I'm talking about. Number 4, we always try to hide our brackets. Brackets are unsightly. They're not something you want to see. It's like seeing a television with the cords hanging down between the television and the console. We're not doing that. And then number 5, you want to make sure that you think about how wide you want your panels to be. You need to know all of these things, position and placement, before you order your curtains or your window treatments in order to get the right length, the right width, the right number of panels and the right kind of fabric and the color that you need for your room. I have this gorgeous 8-inch crown molding that's stained wood. So I'm not able to take these window panels all the way to the ceiling because of the crown, but I take it as high as I can right next to the crown. That gives you more height to your room and makes your room look amazing. The width of this window from window here to here, not including the casement, there's large casement here, not including the casement, just the window to window is 34 inches wide. My rod is 54 inches wide. Why did I do that? Because I'm not putting these window treatments on the window. Let me show you what a lot of people would have done. I gotta get my ladder. You see that? 34 inches to here, but I brought my rod out an additional 10 inches and my window treatments fall on this location right here. And you can see how they fall. Now, remember how I told you that especially on the 54-inch wide panels, you're gonna wanna do 2 panels if you want 14 inches. Right here, at the top, they are on really only 12 inches of rod, but down here, they span out to 14, and that's what I want. That is the reason why we have the panels kiss the floor. If these panels are shorter, there's nothing to hold them out. It's kind of like having a ball gown, right? Or a bride dress, right? And you have a train, and as you walk, the train kind of billows like this. If you had no train, your dress would be like this. That's the same thing with your window treatments. That's why we we kiss the ground. Let's say I don't want my window treatments to end up at 14. I want them to end up at 21. Let's take a look at how that would work. I could bring over another panel. Here we go. And what's so cool about it is you would never know. I mean, honestly, every time I pull these apart and show people that they're separate panels, they're shocked because they hang, you know, it's because of the return. Remember, this is the return. Do you see that? A nice wide return. So the end of each 4 of these loops is another one, and they just butt nicely together. Remember how I said, look how far my rod goes over? Let's say I'm gonna put this where most people would. This just covers the outside edge of that casement. Now, when I say most people would do this, most people wouldn't even have it look this good. You know why? Because they wouldn't have it up that high. They would have it right here. They would put their rod right above the window. I hope from this video today, you never do that again, because the room height would look so stubby and short in comparison. It's nowhere near the drama. So you see how much window you actually get to see. You get one pane and a tiny bit of another. So if you compare that window compared to that one, which has nearly all 3 panes completely showing, that's why we do the on the walls, not the windows. Now, another thing to note, something that I saw yesterday when I was out looking at homes, she had her rods extend beyond the window, beyond her window treatments. Have you ever seen that? Like sometimes people will put a rod here, they'll go across, well, they'll put it down here. They'll go across, and then this rod just keeps on going, and there's no curtains hanging from it. Don't have your rods and finials protruding beyond the edge of the window if there's not a panel on that side. This is what professional window treatment installers, trust me, I've worked with many over the years. I've been in this business 37 years, that's a long time. I'm probably more years than some of you have been around. And what you do is you come in here and you place these loops exactly where you want them. And that's how you get a perfect look. And to do it right, you need to go all the way around the entire room and make them all the same. I'm about 12 and a half. So I'm gonna just carefully loop these, and you just stick your fingers back in there. To think that the window treatments in my living room are probably $5,000, and these are $125, including the rod. That's saying something. And I like these even better. They just are so clean and so complete looking. I would say maybe a good rule of thumb for you is always you want to make sure that where these curtains come, it kind of covers up the final edge of the window. So here's the deal. The reason I started doing this years ago was because back in the day when I was a baby or child, we would have plate glass windows and everyone put their window treatments on the windows. And so the windows looked like this big. And the truth of the matter was there was like a good 24, 30 inches that was being covered by curtains. Once you push that off and you put it on the wall and you pull it up, all of a sudden your window looks so much bigger. Bigger windows are good. It brings in more natural light, makes your house look like it's a more expensive home when you have larger windows and they all show. Huge difference. All right, so this is how you do it on a budget. We can move on to key element number 4, which is privacy. I love privacy, don't you? I love to see out. So my privacy window treatment of choice is a roller shade. I like the ones that look like bronze. I always go with the darker bronze. These you cannot see through, so they give me total privacy. When I'm in here at night watching television, no one can see in. But what I did was I bought these in the brown. I didn't have the panels on at that point. So these had to be outside mount right in front of the casement. So I just went with a color that was the closest to that. This is what it looked like when the window treatment panels went up and that housing was still brown. So what did I do? Come on, you guys, it's not that hard. You just paint it. So I pulled my window treatments back and I literally just primed them and painted them the same exact color as the wall. Now, the wall being white up here and this white looks so much better because a brown thing across here, it just like cut it up with the crown molding and the brown here. So I like it in white much better. If you're gonna order roller shades, whether they're motorized or not, keep in mind the housing color and keep in mind the actual shade color. A lot of people think that if they're doing white window treatments and they have light colored walls, they do light like off-white or ivory roller shades. Don't do that. I have done it. That's why I know not to do it. Here's what happens. The roller shades that are screens are meant to be seen through. You're meant to be able to see through them to get a view, but no one can see in. The moment you use the white color, your eye stops at the shade and does not see through. Even though it's got the holes in it that you could, your eye just stops and sees all this light color. But if you use the dark bronze, which I'll show you that I have in my living room, you'll see that you can still see the view outside, but you have the privacy on the inside. And the best reason to use something like roller shades or something independent from your curtains is, I believe that one of the reasons window treatments / curtains get looking so haggard is because people use them to open and close. So they never look pristine. So this is how I do it. I mean, I'm here in my room. All of these are the exact same width all the way across, so it looks really consistent. And what I do is I just say, Alexa, turn on good night. Key element number 5 is to preserve what you may already have. You know, I'm not trying to get you to go out and rip down everything you've got and start all over again, although maybe I kind of am, because I know how good it could look and how close you are to getting there. These are not expensive. They just take thought, getting the right stuff, the right size, the right headers. I mean, all the things I've told you, if you could just take these key principles and use them, oh my gosh, you could make such a difference in your home today. Well, maybe not today. It takes 24 hours, maybe 48 to get your order. But you could do it really, really quick. And you can experiment. Go ahead and overbuy. Amazon will take anything back. Don't use it, just get it to try it, okay? If you have window treatments, let's say your window treatments look like this. What could our friend do with what she's got? For her, she has reasonable thickness and texture to the window treatment she has. If you can get one more panel of that same exact window treatment and cut it up, you could add the additional 12 inches that it would need to take it to the ceiling. You drop it, you add 12 inches to the bottom, and it's a banding. Do me a favor, do not use a contrasting fabric because that never works. It makes the room look short. It cuts it up. I think that it's really, really tricky to get that band in the right place and not get the proportion off. So try and make it look consistent all the way down. What if you have print window treatments? Well, girl, sorry. It's gonna cost you $125 or somewhere around there to fix that. You know, it's not necessarily true. You could have a bold print and all you're looking for is these random splashes of color. If that's what you're looking for, great, because that's all you're gonna get. You're not gonna get that pattern. You are not gonna see it. Imagine, your window treatment isn't on here like this. If it was, you would get that pattern, but it goes like that, and now your pattern just got messed up. Remember the peacock feathers. I hope this has been helpful for you. It's taken all day to film it because I had so much to say. I'm sorry if I'm talking too much, but you know what? It is a complicated subject. It's detailed. And I want you to get it right. And I don't want you to have to order things and get the wrong thing and have to reorder. I want you to be able to sit down, figure out the measurements, figure out how far onto the wall, and then send me photos. Take photos before you take your old ones down, please. And then send me photos of what it looks like after, because I promise you, if you get the right weight of fabric, the right texture, the right color, you get the right headers for the top and the right rods, and you hide those brackets behind the curtains, and you raise them to the ceiling and you bring them to the floor where they kiss, and you put them on the walls and not the windows, and you take care of your privacy issues so you don't have to open and close your normal curtains. Guys, you're gonna love it. Take all these ideas and make it happen. You know what I just did today? I just gave you a free design session. Do you realize that? By the way, if you're not a member of the design sessions, you should be, because what I just did today is there's over 100 hours of exclusive content on the design sessions just like this, only on every other subject that has to do with making your home beautiful, one room at a time, one principle at a time. All right? I'm not kidding, I'm serious. All right, I love you and I mean it. And yes, I'm gonna pray for you. All right, see you guys next time. Bye.